Hello. Welcome. Welcome to Jerusalem. We're outside the old city on the north western corner, and we're going to go to the northeastern corner. You want to come with me? Let's go and have a stroll. And here is City Hall of Jerusalem, the headquarters of the city. And I'm just going to start with the old city and concentrate on that. Actually, we can see all of the western wall of the old city, outside of the old city, the Mount Zion, right here to the De La Salle School, which is inside the walls. The Jaffa Gate is over there in between. And let's head now toward, actually Notre Dame is here on the left, but first of all we have the French Hospital, which is our next door neighbor at Notre Dame, led by wonderful sisters, serving the, oh look who's here, serving the terminally ill. It's palliative care. It has had many purposes throughout history. Look at this, Father Piotr.
God, so good to see you.
Father Piotr from Beersheba.
Yes.
And these two guys, you were in Magdala. When were you there, like a year ago?
Yes, I think it was like a year ago.
What's your name again?
Veronica?
Veronica, you're Polish.
Yes, I am.
I'm Francesco, I'm Italian.
Italian, nobody's perfect, that's okay.
Yeah. Right.
And these guys are doing doctorates. You're doing a PhD
math.
in mathematics.
Yeah.
I knew a guy in Ohio, and he could prove from mathematics that God exists.
Well, from logic, yeah, it's good.
And what are you studying, Veronica?
I'm doing a PhD in microbiology.
Oh, sorry, my microphone's over here. Just say it louder.
Microbiology.
Microbiology.
Yeah.
In what field?
Bacteria. I
Bacteria.
work, actually, evolution of bacteria.
Evolution of bacteria. We're looking forward to the book.
I would be very happy to present it to you.
Well, you're here on a visit from Beersheba.
Yes, this is right after the Holy Week. We couldn't miss. We went to Emmaus.
Yes.
Just like the disciples of Emmaus. But Father, they keep talking about Magdala.
It's okay. It's
To
okay.
whom are you streaming?
The whole world.
We greet the whole world. Father Kali is amazing. You are lucky to have you here. Father, welcome to Jerusalem. We come back to Beersheba.
Okay. How far is Beersheba from here?
About an hour and a half. But this is the city of Abraham. So people in the world.
The city,
visit
and we
Beersheba.
just finished our pilgrimage in the spirit of Abraham, our father in faith.
You should visit me, Father.
Yes, we have to come and visit you
You
again.
haven't been to Beersheba, right?
Yes, I have been through there, but I'm not on the way through, you know.
Much, right?
Down to Arad and to the
See the house of Abraham.
yeah, we will come. Okay?
Bye, Father Kali.
See you later, alligator. It's a small world, you know. Actually, a minute before I put them online, to be very honest, I met them on the street. So we had the surprise encounter 3 minutes earlier, but so we staged it for you so you could see that. It's amazing, isn't it? A small world in Jerusalem. There were two students who were in Magdala last year, and Father Piotr I know for many years. He's originally Polish, and he works in, he serves the Hebrew-speaking Catholic community in Beersheba. So then here is the city walls, as you can see. We're going to see a lot of that. We're going to walk all along the city wall of Jerusalem on the north side, okay? This is Notre Dame. This was built about 130 something years ago, 135 years ago. It was a 20-year building project. Maybe Magdala would finish out being something like that as well. Here we have the new gate to the old city. And this new gate was built for Notre Dame and for the French hospital. So that's why these two buildings justify the opening of this gate, for the sick people to come out to the hospital and for the workers to come out to the hospital, and for the Notre Dame workers to come out from the old city to work in Notre Dame, and for the pilgrims to go from Notre Dame into the Holy Sepulchre, which is only about 8 minutes walking from here, okay? We did that the other morning, you remember? Yesterday morning. We had our sunrise stroll and chat. Hey, people playing the piano right here on the street. Thank you. Who's playing the piano? Where are you from? From Jerusalem. What's your name? Karine. Dahrin. And these are your sisters?
No.
Your students? What are you playing? What piece are you playing? What piece of music are you playing?
Classic.
Classic. Tell us, what's the name of the piece?
كان عندنا طاحون.
Okay, again.
كان عندنا طاحون. لفيروز.
Can you help us here?
فيروز كان عندنا طاحون.
Okay, I don't understand everything there, but
Because it is an Arabic song.
an Arabic song. Ah, and you're a teacher? You're just here listening. So play a little bit for us. You are the piano lady. Sing us a song. This will be on YouTube and Facebook all over the world tonight. It's actually live stream now. Shukran Iktir. Shukran Iktir. Take a picture of my card there, and you can find me. No, take a picture of the card. Take a picture. This one here, you can use this one. And then shoot me a WhatsApp, and I will get you the links for so you can see yourself on this live stream. Okay? Thank you, girls. Shukran Iktir. Yatik liafia. Keep having fun, doing good things. It's very nice to meet these Palestinian people here playing. Wonderful. Isn't that a nice treat, people? Here on the streets of Jerusalem. What a treat. We always see these trains from up there at the sunrise stroll and chat. Isn't this amazing? I'm just so happy to meet children doing this, and people had the initiative to put out a piano for them to do this. You know, it's so possible to set up situations for people to have good experiences. I'm going to take you off the street and we're going to walk down here on this grass. An Irishman has to walk on green grass, especially in the springtime. We shouldn't walk on the pavement, you know. We have to walk on the green grass in the springtime in Ireland. Look at the clover. Clover has a special part in our hearts, you know. When you're doing very well, we have a kind of a saying. We say, "Oh, that person is in clover." That means they're doing very well. So I'm coming without a tripod and without my little, the selfie stick that has a tripod on it, and it can help to keep the camera a little quieter. So it's a little bit more jaunty than we have in our normal sunrise stroll. And look at this beautiful tree and flower, full bloom. Isn't this beautiful? You probably know the names of this plant, I don't. Isn't that beautiful? And look at the stairs up the wall, but there's barbed wire up there, so we're not welcome. And here's a couple resting and chatting. Isn't that nice? You know, people get different images of Jerusalem, but here life goes on. People live, they have neighbors, family, children learn to play music, the trees blossom. This is Jerusalem, real Jerusalem. I love this spot in the summertime when it gets very hot. Right now, today is pretty good. It's about, I don't know, in the mid-20s probably. Assalamu alaikum. Kif halak, habibi. Salam to the whole world here.
What?
Say wave to the whole world. You can say.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Welcome to Palestine.
What's your first name?
My name is Raed.
Raed.
I am Dr. Raed.
Doctor, you're a doctor?
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Political doctor.
Oh, doctor of politics.
Yes.
You teach?
Yes.
Where?
In Hebron University.
In Hebrew University?
Yeah.
And what do you teach there? What's your specialty?
I don't speak English.
Okay, that's good. Halas.
Yeah.
Shukran iktir.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
Yatik lafia.
Okay.
Isn't that nice? A doctor of political science teaching at Hebrew University. Raed. A very strong Arabic name, you know. You have this sound, they call it an ayn, two little girls here. I'm on live stream, can you say hello? Hello. No live stream. Thank you. Salam alaikum. It's like their parents and their teenage boy, and he didn't want to be on live stream, so we respect that. And here we'll find different people, you know, picnicking and relaxing here. I love this path in the summertime because the shade gives you a little break from the intense heat. I've walked down here a ton. Look at this guy here answering his messages. These are just simple, ordinary families in Jerusalem. Maybe they're visiting from outside and relaxing, resting a little. So some people live up there, obviously. They have their green cloth out there drying after washing the table or whatever. This is real Jerusalem, and the birds are happy that people picnic here because there are some pickings for them. Now we're going to come to the Damascus Gate, which is usually characterized as the most beautiful gate of the old city. These city walls were redone by Suleiman, and he was the leader when what's his name, Charles V, or he has a couple of different names depending on what side you see him from, and he was you could say the emperor, and he was threatening to come and do another crusade in Jerusalem, which never happened. But this led to the redoing of these walls. So in a certain sense that was one good side effect, that there was something very well done that has no military purpose anymore, but has a great cultural value. So obviously the walls were built with the criteria of that time, and the places included and not included, and actually Mount Zion was not included. The walls that was left outside of Mount Zion. There are different legends and stories and explanations about all of that. So here we're at the gate, the Damascus Gate. You can see the top of the gate there, how beautifully designed it is. These walls are almost 500 years old. Other families here having their little picnics, and that's all. I just love seeing families together in this type of situation. The life here in the Arabic community and also in the Israeli community is very family-centered. But in a way I see it more physically in the Arabic community. I've had more contact with them here in the Jerusalem area the years I've worked here, because all of our employees were Palestinians. So here's more of this beautiful gate. If those of you who have seen the interview that I-24 TV did with me, was actually we did it underneath this tower over here. And I'll show you a little detail about this. حبيبي كيف حالك؟ فيش مساري يعطيك العافية. So here we have the Damascus Gate, the most beautiful gate of Jerusalem, architecturally, and it's also probably one of the best conserved gates. And there's a big market inside. Let's do the market another day, people, okay? I'm tempted to go in, but we won't go in now. So we'll stay with the outside of the walls. And then down here there was a market, and this gate was built exactly almost 1900 years ago, exactly almost. This is where we went in to do the interview, by the way. And this is from the time of Hadrian, so built around 100 years after the resurrection of our Lord. And it has all still the Roman structures in there. It's amazing. It's really amazing. And you see, this shows you how in antiquity, you can learn something here, I did. You can see very clearly how cities rise over time, and also the origin of the tells, the archaeological mounds with different layers of civilization. Like in Megiddo, there are something like 25 or 27 different layers. In Bet Shean, there are a whole lot of layers. And here you have the city prior to 135 beyond this doorway, and it's built at that time. So this whole gateway was actually built, according to some academic theory, as a triumphal gate when Hadrian suppressed the Jewish rebellion of Bar Kokhba, which rose up 2 generations after the destruction of Jerusalem. The amazing resilience and will of the Jewish people to exit the Roman control and dominion, and they were obviously hopelessly crushed by the Romans, but they in turn had first of all crushed the Roman legion, which was a tremendous humiliation for the Romans, and the Romans didn't want to forgive them for that, so it was a very tough situation. There's a very nice plaza here. Let me just show you here outside the Damascus Gate. It's very spacious. And then another feature here is, you can see also, well, I'll see that in a moment, you can see the Franciscan Tower again. That's always a landmark. And Notre Dame is just over here. But we'll see it better in another moment. But you can see the 2 towers on top of Notre Dame there. The trees are blocking a little bit. We'll catch it when we go up a little higher. And then just north of here is called in Arabic the Nablus Road. Nablus, Neapolis, a town built by the time of Hadrian as well. It was probably built earlier with lands were given to the Roman soldiers for their part in the war after the destruction of Jerusalem. Habibi, Kif Halak. So here there was a big column put up by Hadrian. This doorway was called Bab al-Amud, the door of the column. But in Hebrew it's called the door of Sichem, which is the biblical name for Nablus. Nablus is the name today. It's in the West Bank, and Sichem is the place of Jacob's well and Jesus' conversation with that woman. So a lot of history is tied in here with the names and the places, and that's all very interesting. Hello there! Just doing some live streaming. We'll see you there. These are 2 consecrated women who are on their way to an event. We're saying goodbye to the nuncio, and there's a reception and invitation, so I thought while I'm walking there we'll bring you along and do a live stream, okay? So there's Notre Dame, and occupying the center of the whole of the screen right now, and we're walking away from Notre Dame alongside the north wall of the city, and here is the Damascus Gate. And you know, one thing to think about that is St. Paul was on his way from Jerusalem to Damascus, so he would have come out from the north of the city and head north this way here up towards Nablus. A couple of other very important things are here. This is a school built by the German Catholics. It's the Schmidt Schule and financed by them for the education of Palestinian children. And then up this road, just after that, is the Garden Tomb, which many of our Christian friends go there, and I've gone there. It's a very beautiful place to pray. Some people think it's the tomb of Jesus. And beyond that is the École Biblique, the famous biblical school, incredibly high academic level, doctorates in sacred scripture, and they have one of the most wonderful biblical libraries in the world. Also, one of their priests was one of the key experts originally driving the studies of the Dead Sea Scrolls in the 1940s when they were discovered. That happened before the foundation of the State of Israel. And we're passing something very interesting here. It's the entrance to a cave that's underneath the city. And it's called Zedekiah's Cave. You see? Zedekiah's Cave. And this is also helpful now we see this map. So we're walking from here with my finger. Where's my finger? There, you see? We're walking there alongside this wall all the way down to here. We're going to go to about here, a little bit more. So right now we're here. So we're about done about half the wall, a little more. And this cave is a place where sometimes special venues happen. In fact, I was invited there once. The next gate we're going to see is Herod's Gate. In Arabic it's called Bab al-Ward, the Gate of Flowers. And then we'll head down. The last big thing we'll see is the Rockefeller Museum in terms of buildings and structures. So this is a very deep cave that goes way down there. Like you walk in hundreds of meters through this cave, and a group of people had a major event in there. Here you can see the back end of the Garden Tomb. I find it a beautiful place to pray, to meditate. Every place nowadays is very beautiful because it's much quieter. All the holy sites are very quiet. And the Garden Tomb has been developed especially by the Anglican community and receives a lot of visitors. They have tombs there. Most of the tombs there are from the First Temple period. Look what we have here. And there are lots of bees. This is rosemary in full bloom. And it smells great. Let me just break a leaf for you. Oh, it's excellent. Can you get the smell? Imagine all the cooking you could do with this rosemary. And in fact, if you go just beyond the Jaffa Gate, you will find lots of rosemary, a much wider strip than we have here. So look at the interesting architectural feature here. This is all rock and how the wall was built on the rock. And we can get close to the rock here. There's some samples of it out here for us. And look at the doorway. Let me see if I can get that for you properly. Yeah, there we are. It's a doorway, so there has to be an opening in there through the rock to the other side. And here we have a jogger. You see, Jerusalem is a city like many other cities. It's a very special place, very beautiful place. Look at this rock here. And this is pretty high. This is about 2 stories high, I think. Well, definitely 1.5. And then we have the wall on top of it. Like this big ledge here, I could reach with my hand if I was in there. Barely reach the lower part of it. Families, moms with their kids, people going shopping. You know, this is Jerusalem. The normal Jerusalem of every day. People having a place to live, making a living. Kids learning about the whole world on their little handy phones. A tree that saw better days. But you see, the spring is coming. The little shoots from the stump of Jesse. So this is Herod's Gate here. It has very different names. It has like 3 different names. And I actually will straight away admit that I don't know the history of why they're called this. I know that Bab al-Amud, the Damascus Gate, is called in Arabic the Gate of the Column because of that Roman column that was put there by Hadrian. So let's just take a peep here. We won't go inside. I'll keep my promise not to go in. But from on the outside, we can see they have a whole market here. Look at this. You like some watermelon, fresh watermelon, straight from the local gardens. Look at this here, people. Hello there, salam alaikum. So the population inside the northern wall is all Arabic speaking, In the part near Notre Dame, it's the Christian quarter, and here it's the Muslim quarter. Now, when I came here a number of 14 years ago, this was not like this. So they really fixed this part up very nicely. And they've put in these stones here and the grass. There were 3 or 4 different efforts because I used to hike a lot, and I remember all the different changes here they were doing. Some things worked and some things didn't work. This is actually dug down deeper, and there were more trees here if I remember rightly. Or at least a few trees. You want to take a taxi or you're tired of walking? You can take a taxi here and catch up with us later. Shukran, Habibi. Bus stop. Assalamu alaikum. So we're actually approaching the final corner of the wall. Hello, Assalamu alaikum. It's just lovely to see little children, you know, and you just pray and wish they can get the best education. They have the love. That mother surely loves her kids so much. This is the Rockefeller Museum. Can you imagine? This museum obviously must have been funded by the Rockefeller Foundation in some way or other, and it's a major archaeological museum. I've been there for quite a few events, and actually they showed the Magdala Stone there as the key piece back in, I think, 2010, or no, maybe in the fall of 2009. That's when they have the, or maybe it was actually a year later, when they have every year the Archaeological Society here, the Antiquities Authority, organizes a display for all of the people in the archaeological field of all the discoveries. No, actually, it could have been 2009, and it was done by slides. It wasn't, the stone wasn't brought here because it didn't leave the site of Magdala for a few years. And now it's in safe keeping because of its incredible, it's recognized to have extraordinary value. So they're actually building a new museum for archaeology, much bigger, because of all the discoveries. There's such a need for proper maintenance and conservation of archaeological and also display. So now we're almost at the northeastern corner of the old city. Another historical thing from around this position is a very complicated piece of history. Is where the Crusaders breached the wall into the city, the First Crusade. And all war efforts leave terrible wake of suffering and sometimes very bad memories that last a long time and leave a lot of damage in relationships. It's interesting that in the Crusader field, the studies of the Crusades, there's an amazing revolution taking place, and a lot of stuff that was being taught in the schools in the last 50 or 60 years is destined to change a lot. And what they're discovering is that the sources on the Muslim side are being more and more discovered by the West, and they agree completely with a new theory that has been developing over the years, that sometimes the Crusades story and critique served ideological purposes that didn't always respect the objectivity of the story. And because of this, there's obviously a new revision in progress, and we can expect more and more. I've seen quite a few articles because one of our own confreres actually wrote a book in Portuguese and Spanish about the Crusades now. This is a very difficult hill to negotiate because you're stopped on a hill that's pretty steep, and as soon as the lights turn green, you have to negotiate your gears very well. So now we're basically finished the walls of the old city. That's the corner there, and we're beyond it. These are one of the little tractors that work very well in the old city. They're small, narrow, and they do all the delivery of goods in the old city. So we have to wait for these traffic lights. I don't think you want to run a red light, do you? So now we're going down into the Kidron Valley in an area that you might never have been in before. And up on the hill here you can see Brigham Young University from Utah. They have their Mount of Olives campus here, their Jerusalem campus, their Holy Land campus here. And you see the Tower of Augusta Victoria. We often talk about that because it's a major landmark feature here for Jerusalem. And especially when you're out over in Jericho, you can see that tower and the Ascension Tower. And then we have there you can see something special. Good job, we have a red light. You see there's a mosque up there, and that's the site where we remember the ascension of our Lord. You see the mosque in the center of the screen? I hope you can hear me well enough. Okay, now there's no red light for me, but I need it. Why isn't it giving me a red light here? I think I can go because I have a green light twice now on the other side. I just have to take this red. You can't take this taxi because he's full. Assalamu alaikum. So now we're walking downhill. There are less historical features here, but we're walking into the Kidron Valley. And the Kidron Valley separates the old city of Jerusalem, we can't see that very well here, from the Mount of Olives. So we're actually going to cross it on that road down there. And again, you see normal life. There's a big fresh food wholesaler here in East Jerusalem. We're in East Jerusalem. This is all Arabic population, basically. There are a number of religious properties along here of religious orders, Christian foundations and groups that have memories at the Mount of Olives under custody. And they provide for visitors. There are a couple of guest houses, smaller ones. And also, obviously, the site of Gethsemane itself. The Franciscans run from the Catholic side. The Armenians have a place there. The Orthodox have two places there. St. Stephen's Church and Mary Magdalene Church. Apparently, in Byzantine period, there were something like 25 or 27 monasteries on the Mount of Olives. As soon as Christianity became legal and no longer persecuted, are you hungry? You could have a sandwich here. Or a juice. How about that? Like a juice or a sandwich? Assalamu alaikum. And this is the fresh fruit and vegetable wholesaler there. So the Kidron Valley is very nice. Assalamu alaikum. No, it's on 200 yards. Shukran. We'll see you there. La salami. They're also going to the reception, obviously. But they didn't realize that all you guys are here on live stream. So this is the Kidron Valley. There was a whole area developed in a park-like fashion here, going up to Mount Scopus. We can hardly see the tower anymore, but it's up there, as we're changing perspective. And there we have the Augusta Victoria Tower here in the center of the screen. So we're now going down into the Kidron Valley. And Gethsemane is just down there on the left side of the valley. We might get a glimpse at it a little better later on. There's a lot of archaeological treasure, obviously, in this area as well. But the Kidron has a special memory value for the Christians because of Holy Thursday evening, when Jesus is going to pray in Gethsemane, which is just about 150 yards, 200 yards over there. We might see the Russian Orthodox domes. Yes, we can. Look at they're shining there in the sun, in the setting sun. You see? That's Mary Magdalene Church. It's so beautiful. And that's just right above the site where we have the Church of All Nations, I'm not sure if we'll be able to see that. Maybe we will from another angle. And this is Hebrew University, co-founded by Einstein, and I think Freud, and many other great Jewish scholars and researchers back in the mid-20s, 1920s. There's some very nice views from up there over the city of Jerusalem as well. You can recognize the flowers we have, Salaam Alaikum. The flowers we have in Galilee, they're all over the country in full bloom. Oh, look at these beautiful ones again. So now let's take one last look here from this angle at the domes, the onion domes of the Mary Magdalene Church of the Russian Orthodox. And then just down below that, but it's not in view, is the Church of All Nations of Gethsemane, where we had the prayer on Holy Thursday evening. Oops, that's me. Not part of the archaeology. Isn't that beautiful? Here in Jerusalem. But come quickly, because in the month of May that will be all brown. The sun comes out strong in April and it begins to singe everything. I feel like I got a bigger screen. I'm not sure if you did. I might have touched something and I'd like to discover what it was, because there's also advantage in that. You know that Easter is the feast of the barley harvest, and barley looks like this, but I don't think this is barley. I'm not sure if it's actually the what's it called, the darnel. It might be darnel, I'm not sure. And there's no grain inside. This might have grain in it. This is like oats. And there we have one of our thistles again that we have in Galilee. These flowers are just so lovely. Let's go on the sunny side so that you can see them better. And you can tell me what they are. Sometimes you need to see the leaves to tell the plant, right? And there are a whole bunch of these trees here. I wonder if they're fruit trees. And then we have these lovely blue flowers here. This is Jerusalem, people. But enjoy the green, because the summer sun is coming, and that'll be the end of the green. Hello there.
Happy Easter, Father.
Many happy returns. I'm doing live stream. Do you want to be in the live stream?
Yes, you can.
Where are you from?
We come from China.
China.
Yes.
Ni hao.
你好。
Now
复
you.
活节快乐。复活节快乐。
Fu Hua Diao Fai Lo. This is Happy Easter.
Yes.
In Chinese. Isn't that wonderful? What part of China are you from?
We come from the north.
From the north of China.
Yes, from the north of China, and from Hebei province.
There. Just say this again.
Hebei province.
Okay. And are you in a community?
Yes, we have a community in Jerusalem.
What's the name of your community?
The Immaculate Heart of Mary.
Immaculate Heart of Mary. Okay, I heard of those. They were in Michigan. IHM. Are you sisters?
Yes,
Fantastic. So you're coming to the reception as well.
yes.
This is on live stream. I will give you the connection later so you can see it on Facebook or YouTube.
Thank you, Father.
Isn't that nice to meet all these friends and walking the streets of Jerusalem? And I'm so happy. I didn't remember that there were Chinese sisters in Jerusalem. That's fantastic. How many Chinese sisters are here?
We have 3.
3 Chinese. And so we met 2/3. How long are you living in Jerusalem?
I was arrived here 2016.
2016, so 5 years ago.
Yes.
Fantastic. And when did you come?
I come here for 1 year. 1 year.
Aha, she came for 1 year. Excellent. 1 year ago, maybe. Maybe that's what she means. Excellent. So we're coming almost to the end of our trek. We might be able to look back and see Jerusalem. Here you can see the Rockefeller Museum. And over here you see the Dome of the Rock just peeping out over the walls. So we're looking more or less west, maybe a little southwest in the angle. And now you have an idea where we are. And we're exiting they're walking quickly. We're exiting the Kidron Valley. We're climbing up out of the valley. There's another unique tree over here. If the traffic slows down, I'll get over there and show you. Assalamu alaikum. But it has white flowers, so I thought all of you who love flowers might like to see the white flowers here. You see, spring is full blown in Jerusalem now. Easter time, you know? Easter time. Amazing handiwork of the Creator. Absolutely amazing. And just to think that beyond the Mount of Olives, which is just about another 300 yards, basically you have the desert. The Judean desert, because the crest of the Mount of Olives is like a water line. Any humidity that gets here from the Mediterranean is pretty drained, and especially when the clouds rise because of the Mount of Olives, then that little chill effect causes the final precipitation. This is a school, Ibrahimiya College. So I'm sure the absolute majority of students here are Muslim, and it's Ibrahim, that's Abraham in Arabic. And actually, when I used to hike around these areas before, they were doing a lot of work on this years ago. And you can see the Dome of the Rock as their symbol. So this area would be majority Muslim in population, for sure. And this is where the papal nuncio has his residence. This is obviously an earlier entrance or another entrance. So people, I want to say thank you for joining this walk. I almost think it just feels like 5 minutes ago that we started. And we've already come this far. Thank you for joining. And spread the word. It's amazing. I'm really amazed at how you have been sharing the story of Holy Week, because all the numbers have really gone through the ceiling in what we typically had for our sunrise stroll and chat each morning in Galilee. So I think we have a view here of the Rockefeller Museum. Well, maybe I'll take you to the final stretch just before I go in, and I'll show you the place where the papal nuncio lives. He is actually the nuncio, the ambassador of the Holy Father of the Vatican to Israel. He is also the apostolic delegate to Palestine and to Jerusalem. He is also the ambassador, the nuncio to Cyprus. So a lot of territory to cover, a myriad of different issues and complex realities to deal with. And he has a very wonderful role as liaison for all of the Catholic Church, which in the Holy Land is very complex with many sub-parts. The different Eastern churches, for example, who are united to Rome, are part of his responsibility. We're actually very close to the top of the Mount of Olives right now. If we walked up here another, Assalamu alaikum, if we walked up here another 300 yards, which I'm not going to do, sorry, we would be at the top of the Mount of Olives. We'll do that another time. I realize that you like these strolls, so we'll try and do some more in the future in different places so you can enjoy the gift of Jerusalem. This is Nabil Events. You remember there was a guy in the Bible called Nabil, wasn't there? And his wife, there was a story there with David, I think, right? And the word Nabi means a prophet. So I presume that name comes related to the word prophet. Habibi. I'm going there. This guy wants to talk to me, so I will be friendly.
Hey! Post delegations.
Oh, I'm going, yes.
Yeah, come in here.
No. I'm doing live stream.
Yeah, bye.
Shukran, Habibi.
Bye.
That was very kind of you. Very
Bye.
kind. Shukran. So now we're at the Mormon place here, the Brigham Young University Extension Campus in Jerusalem. And lots of friends there over the years. They would always come to Notre Dame to see the shroud exhibit, which I think I showed you a little bit of it in a couple of days ago, was it? On Good Friday or Holy Saturday. So I'm almost at my destination. Oh, there go the two Chinese sisters ahead of us. Oh, I know. That little truck is at Notre Dame. And I didn't recognize the new worker. And they're ferrying the people over to the reception because there's not enough parking inside. So it's a small world. So there you get another little look here at the place of the Mormons, and then you can see over here to West Jerusalem, the new Jerusalem being built in the distance. But there's not enough detail to see at this point. So we have arrived basically. We take advantage of this opportunity to cross the street. These are our Notre Dame employees. No, I figured it all out. See, I haven't been living in Jerusalem for the last 4.5 years. Shukran, Habibi. So here is the apostolic delegation of the Holy See.
gentlemen, good morning.
How are
Good
you?
afternoon. How are you doing?
Do you want to say hello to live stream around the world?
Hi.
Where are you from?
I'm Italian. We just talked on the phone several times.
Of course. God bless you.
God bless you too.
Shukran, Habibi.
Welcome.
And here comes Kathleen and Anne-Marie and Sylvia. Anne-Marie, we're doing live stream. You want to say hello? No? So we say goodbye. Hi, Padre. Salve. Let's say goodbye for now, people. I'm so happy that you joined me for this experience up to this point. And there goes Kathleen. Oops, no, you can't see her because I'm on selfie mode. She's gone ahead there. So we're gathering for this farewell reception for the nuncio. The famous Father Ibrahim there behind the tree. Amazing story from Egypt. And we'll tell that story another day. God bless you all. See you later.